this is to be an interesting. I'm excited about the topics I'm reading down for your listening pleasure from now up until 6. When we will bring your way the major news, and after the major news, hopefully, if there is no commercial interruptions, then you and I will have open season, which is more like a recap of our conversation for today and a futuristic view of conversations that is for tomorrow. All right, welcome. Big stories first, then a topical issue, which will be about the Court of Appeal judgment on Friday. Remember, one of the big stories I told you about on Friday was that the Court of Appeal will give judgment, and by the time we were done with our conversations, we saw the judgment, we heard about the judgment, and it's one of the most talked about conversations in the country as of now. And we'll also talk about the APC. I mean, you must have heard the news. Ganda J. Abdullahi, chairman or acting chairman APC National, has come out to say there is no faction in Rivers. That I will be speaking with Darlington Owaju on that very issue and how they intend to navigate the waters, because it is a crazy water, as it is stormy water, I should say. They've what's the word now? Inaugurated the Tony Okocha-led assembly. What does that mean for the Emeka BK faction? All right, so that's the size of the package. But let's now start with the big stories, where my first big story is an interesting conversation. So I woke up this morning. Chuku, by the way, congratulations on your award as one of the interesting statement saying or hint that working environment under former governor Nyesom Wike may have been a toxic one. He talked about his blood pressure, being high at the time as a result of, the toxic nature of, the working environment during the FCT minister's time as governor. Now, according to the news, and I'm going to read it from our in-house bulletin, Governor Fubara says the secretary to the state government, SSG, Tammy Danagogo, resisted pressure to resign from government during the heat of the political crisis. Governor Fubara said this at a special Thanksgiving service organized in honor of the SSG at the St. Paul's in Yemoni Lutheran Cathedral in Abunima Town, Akukutori local government area yesterday. Now, he promised that his administration will continue to stand by Mr. Danagogo. Now, I'll play the governor's soundbite in a bit, but let's look at the article on what Danagogo said. Danagogo said working with Governor Fubara has been a life-changing experience in a non-toxic work environment that has reduced his intake of his blood pressure drugs. Our correspondent reports that Governor Fubara donated 50 million, and he goes ahead to say other things. Of course, he hinted that during his time with the former governor, first of all, he wasn't in the cabinet in the first term. He was known as the friend of the governor, according to the Nation report. But then the second term, he was then incorporated into the cabinet as SSG, and then he served. And then when Governor Fubara came, he was part of the people who, from the old cabinet, came into the new at the time. And when the people from the old cabinet in the new were resigning, he was also pressured to resign. Apparently, he stuck with the current governor. And now the story is being told that it was a toxic environment under Nyesom Wike. And, now it's quite good. It's quite a healthy environment to work in, even though the reactions to it now, I've just been told, Chidi Lloyd, former chairman of Emwa local government area, has criticized the secretary to the Rivers State government, Tammy Danagogo, for claiming he developed high blood pressure while serving under the previous administration. It's really interesting, how things are panning out in Rivers State. But let's first listen to what the governor said as it relates to the blood pressure and, ensuring that he creates a conducive environment for commissioners and appointees to work in.
He's telling you people about the story, how he was reappointed. I don't know why he didn't add the story, but he was also compared giving ultimatum to resign. It takes a man who believes in something to stand his ground. This administration that I'm leading will stand with him. You don't need to worry about the BP throne again. I don't intend to give anybody BP. There's no commissioner here that has BP. Before, people used to have BP. Now, there's no BP. There's no permanent secretary that is always lying in the hospital. No need for that. Me, I'm the curer of BP.
All right, so you've added. He's the cure of BP. He said, "I'm looking for the sound bite of. It was supposed to be okay. May want to find it out, play. But then, of course, you've heard Chidi Lloyd's statement. Chidi Lloyd said, "My goodness." He said, the SSG is being hypocritical. He questioned why Dr. Danagogo and others who felt their health was at risk did not resign from their positions. He added that the former administration had zero tolerance for inefficiency and negligence, and those making such claims struggled to meet the administration standards. Now, before I even saw Dr. Lloyd's statement, I wanted to ask the question, why did he not resign? And the reason why I'm asking that question is because it's not just River State now. It looks like a culture in Nigeria where people fail to resign when things are not going well and then come out later to say a bunch of things. This person did not allow me to do this, that person did not. I mean, we've heard that story 1,000 times. For instance, Lalong, who was sports, is it Lalong? Am I getting the name right? I think he was sports minister under Buhari, has also come out to talk about a cabal that hijacked Buhari's government. And the question I'm asking is, why did he not resign? Yes, Solomon Dalong, who was the former minister of sports, has come out to say, hey, there were cabals at the time who hijacked Buhari's government. And then I'm wondering, why did you not resign? So what is it about our inability to resign as a people when we feel that we are not allowed to contribute to the best of our abilities, especially in government? Because if you do resign, it shows, either the inefficiency of the government or your inefficiency, as we have seen happen in other, countries and other climates. But I want to get your thoughts on that one. My first big story. Interesting. I hope nobody's high blood pressure is going up here on the show. Hard facts. I'm just hilarious, don't mind me. But let's quickly look at our second big story. Supreme Court declines to sack President Tinubu. So you must have also heard this morning when you followed the news that a gentleman who also happens to be a former presidential candidate, he ran during the 2019 election, went to the Supreme Court. He went straight to the Supreme Court, asking the Supreme Court to declare the president unfit, ineligible to be president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He cited issues like being an agent of the CIA. He cited issues as having forfeited $460,000. He cited some of those, issues that we've seen on social media over the past year. And the Supreme Court was livid, was peeved. The Supreme Court was so angry that they put a 5 million naira charge on this individual, saying, he has abused the court process, and even warned the clerk, the people in charge of filing petitions and all of that, never to entertain such useless matters. They called it useless matters. I know what, we'll talk about this. Let's go for a quick commercial.
Stay with us. Nigeria Info.
3 p.m. I was just telling you a story about, the individual who went to court asking the court to declare the president as ineligible, unfit, not qualified for the seat he currently occupies. So the Supreme Court did put a 5 million naira fine on him and dismissed the suit. Now, according to the Vanguard, the Apex Court, in a unanimous decision by a 5-member panel of justices, awarded to fine of 5 million naira against the plaintiff, Chief Ambrose Owuru, who was the presidential candidate of the Hope Democratic Party in the 2019 general election. Now, the panel, which was led by Justice Musa Abba Aji, warned the registry of the Supreme Court not to accept any free-fallers originating summons from the plaintiff. Again, in the legal action, he filed directly at the Apex Court, Owuru, among other claims, alleged the president is an active agent of the Central Intelligence Agency of the United States of America, a position he argued makes him unfit to occupy the presidential seat. The plaintiff equally urged the Apex Court to disqualify Tinubu on the account that he had earlier forfeited the sum of $460,000 to the government of the USA in a drug-related case. He specifically prayed the Supreme Court to invoke Section 157 of the 1999 Constitution as amended and ousted Tinubu from office for being under the control of foreign authorities. Besides, Owuru's political party had since been deregistered by the Independent National Electoral Commission in a suit marked, joined ex-President Muhammadu Buhari as defendant in the matter. Now, according to the British trained lawyer who was called to the Nigerian bar in 1982, ex-President Buhari's tenure was illegal. Oh, interesting. So your thoughts basically, we know that a president has got immunity. I wonder who will take such a person to court. The only one person that can investigate and indict the president will be the legislative arm of government, that's the National Assembly. But he decided to go to court saying all the things that he probably must have seen on social media. Now, we don't know if those things are enough evidence in court. A lawyer may be able to argue that. But what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts of what has developed in the Supreme Court today? The matter has been taken to court and trashed for not holding any relevance or water, so to say. But let's not quickly touch on the third big story because time is fast spent. It is the bottom of the hour already. And my third big story has got to do with a report on the Tribune newspaper. The front page, that is, you would see the story on the Tribune newspaper. You would see the story. Labour Party may experience more defection in the coming days. Now, as written on the front page of the Tribune, Nigerian Tribune, it says confusion in Labour Party as fresh defection looms. So in the coming days, it is expected that there will be more defection. Now, if you look at the sub-caption of that front page, you'll see where, they also talked about APC still going ahead to poach. They are, vigorously, robustly poaching from the Labour Party and maybe even from the PDP, all with the aim of 2027. And the question in my head is, are they aiming at reducing Peter Obi's relevance or structure? Are they all calculating? I'm talking the APC now. Remember, we said as at 2023, after the election and INEC declared results, Labour Party had about 35 lawmakers at the House of Representatives. Now they have just 17, and with the talk that more of them may leave. Now, Labour Party has gone to court last week saying those who have already defected from the party should be made to vacate their seats. I wonder how that court's case will go. Remember, we still have the one in Rivers still lingering up until now. But while that has been argued in court, the Labour Party defectees defectors are still very much in the National Assembly and now members of the APC. It means the APC has got even more numbers to even emphasize, or should I say bolden, the gap that APC gives to other parties in the House. What are your thoughts? And the reason why this is a recurring big story is because it's politics, yeah. It's political parties, yeah. But remember, the political parties are vehicles with which politicians run for office. And if we have a one-party dominance, there is the tendency that the party may not be as effective as that when there is a vibrant and robust opposition, always putting the leading party on her toes. What are your thoughts, basically? Once again, I'm going to the phone lines. I'd like to talk with you about issues that I've raised on the show on this big story segment. I could have also told you about inflation, how it grew, it rose in the month of November to some 03064160 0809 All right, let's come here. 92.3. Yeah, hi, good afternoon. Introduce yourself, please.
Good afternoon. I'm Chima, calling from Ilili.
All right, Chima from Ilili, welcome.
For that of a Labour Party member at the National Assembly, he said it's long overdue now. Since Chilos Abure said he will hold sway to Labour Party, you have done your own deed. Why not allow another person to at least test their own ability? All the game that, even all these people that are defecting now, we don't even know them. They just roll on the back of obedient movement via P2B. So now that Chilos Abure have refused the advice, what is he going to court to do? Very soon he will lose all of them now. Because those people now, even an Okada man who won the election in Kaduna, now it's now becoming a big man because of the habit of Abure. So let Abure take the Labour Party. He will see that next election he will not even win councillorship. So that is just it.
All right, thank you very much, Chima from Elele. There is Chima from Rumukuta now. Chima, welcome. Turn off your radio, please.
Hello.
Yes, welcome, Chima.
This is Chima from Rumukuta. Good afternoon, sir.
All right, welcome.
Yeah, about the comment about Danagogo, the Secretary of River State, I begin to see everything to be child's play. Because you just said it earlier, that you work in an environment that is not conducive. Why don't you just resign to your integrity? Now, see that now, you now bring it as a mockery. Now, who are you impressing? Okay, if the governor is following suit, he said that none of you go to get high BP or whatever thing may be. You see what is happening now, that a commissioner will lie to you as a governor of a state, telling you that he has paid 100% for a project, while he got there, even 30% of the project has not been done. Is that what we want? In the situation whereby you set up a task force and the commissioner can disband the task force, and the task force chairman will come on air and say that commission does not have power to disband any task force, the task force will still work. Is that what we're talking about? Is that governance? Now the issue is that if you do not understand that you are holding people's treasury, then it is right of you to put in now in River State government. It's getting alarming. Christian Williams from Wike. This one says, hello, Kalada. PTT defecting Labour Party members. The next election will surprise them. PDP members are not serious with themselves and don't tell themselves the truth. How can you claim to be a PDP member, yet you'll be happy that APC is holding sway and getting victory from state to state? If it is not your personal leader or godfather in PDP, doesn't mean someone else in PDP cannot take the leadership position. All I see in PDP membership is selfish interest all around, and with this method, they cannot solve the problems. Bernard from Port Harcourt. All right, let's take this one. Joseph from Elimi, welcome. Let's get your thoughts.
Yes, Kalada, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, go ahead.
Yes, I could remember vividly the statement by Darlene Tinubu claiming that Tony Okocha then was planted in APC by Nelson Wike, so that he made it possible for APC to be in ballot in 2019. And they have told us that their target is to reclaim River State by 2027. And the point they make there is that the governor does not have a political party. Why? They have made it possible by frustrating every effort that the governor has put in place to see that PDP in the state is stabilized, but their agenda is towards the stabilization, not just in the state, but at the federal, ensuring that we have just one political system in the country. That you can see also are playing in a Labour Party. The right call for now for me is we should fight for independent candidacy. I think that will be the way to go.
All right then. Thank you very much. I've got Lawson from Yenigwa. Lawson, welcome. What is on your mind? I'd like to hear from you.
Danagogo, I'm surprised.
What's surprising? What's surprising?
He's been a friend of the FCT minister for some time, right from the days of Jonathan.
Okay.
They've been together, and they never told us any of these things. He's saying, how can you be with somebody for such a long time, and you are talking about blood pressure, and the blood pressure did not kill you, and you did not also resign?
He said he was taking drugs. He was taking drugs. I mean, if he was taking drugs, it won't kill him.
Let me tell you one thing about blood pressure. Even when something is pressuring that blood, even if you take the drugs, it does not go down.
Oh, I see.
Seriously, I'm telling you,
okay.
Because he looks like he ends up people ridiculing his own self.
How do you mean?
Seriously, you refuse to resign. See, let me tell you, it's nothing but betrayal. People that betray people that have assisted them in time past. The implication is that after that assignment next time, nobody will want to touch you, especially in politics. I'm telling you, that's the meaning. Nobody wants to. In politics,
but could it be? Have you taught Lawson? Lawson, have you taught that he could?
You will look at that. This man is a betrayer. Let me tell you something about the man that came as a vice president to Abiola. At the end of the day, I don't want to call his name. You know his name, Baba Gana Kingibe. Abiola used him. He betrayed Abiola. Somehow, after some time, Yaradua brought him in. He also betrayed Yaradua. In fact, Yaradua attacked him.
Oh, so can I come in now? Can I come in, Lawson? Lawson, could it be that he's also saying the truth? Could that be a possibility? Have you thought about it?
If it is a possibility, he would have resigned long time.
Oh.
Let me tell you, he's not a small boy. Danagogo is not a small boy. He's not the FCT minister is not bigger than him. If he feels that it was toxic and he realized that he cannot work with the FCT minister, he would have resigned. Then everybody will know. See, let me tell you, there was a commissioner of health in Rivers State. Till today, a lot of people may not know him. Dr. Dennis Ibaratima, during the military time, he didn't like what the military governor was doing at the time. He resigned. Go and check his history. Dennis Ibaratima, he resigned. That's when you are respected.
All right.
But this thing is coming back to stay now. It looks like it's all about so much infrastructure.
All right.
And it's not good for somebody, his personality.
All right.
He should have just
Lawson, I've got to go. I've got to go.
Coming out to say what
all right,
really
I've got to go. Thank you. Origi from Ogbogu. Origi, welcome.
Yes, good afternoon, Canada.
Yeah, good afternoon. Good afternoon to you.
You see why I don't take politicians seriously? Because they are never serious.
How do you mean?
A man, Danagogo, come out to speak evil against his master?
Who is his master? His master is the governor of Rivers State.
Let me tell you.
Okay.
He worked with our former governor.
Yes, he did.
He was his friend. Until he made him the commissioner. Upon all the bad things the governor was doing then, to him, he couldn't resign. Is him a human being? Don't you think that these people are supposed to be given 24 strokes of grace in the public? Because these people are really causing us problems. I worked in a company that I wasn't comfortable with. I resigned.
But have you have you thought about the possibility that he may not be lying? Have you reasoned?
There was no possibility. You have right. No law, no court of law that will hold you to direction that you shouldn't resign when you have been hold to hold stage in a company. You will resign and live life, your life first. He enjoyed this government until the end. It so pushed him to where it is today. Yet the government wasn't a good one. How can he speak with this in his mouth?
All right.
Secondly,
All right, I've got to go. Already, I've got to go. I've got God's power, and he has been waiting. God's power from Rumudara. Welcome. What is on your mind? Let's talk.
Good afternoon, Canada.
Yeah, good afternoon to you.
My name is Ike God's power.
All right, Aiba, welcome.
Working under Wike was toxic. Danagogo. You see, when you start seeing people like this speaking from both sides of their mouth, I begin to laugh.
Has he spoken?
With Wike,
has he spoken about working with Wike before?
And you were supported to be minister. Working with Wike was toxic, and you were made.
Sorry, was he minister? It was secretary to the state government. Let's get it right.
State government. What if not for Fubara that Wike supported to be governor? Danagogo as well was supposed to be the governor. Wike would have supported him to be governor.
Okay.
I'm telling you. So when people like this begin to say things, because now he's working under a different person. Your former boss was a devil. I don't get it. So what are they teaching us? Then there is no faction in APC in River State.
That's not my conversation for the now. So can you move on, please? Move on to another big story. Thank you.
It's okay. Thank you very much.
All right then. Thank you very much for your time. I've got Alioze King from Ada Judge. Alioze, welcome. What is on your mind? I'd like to hear from you.
Man of the people, I greet you.
I greet you as well.
Canada, I don't know if I'm right if I say that now person will wear shoe, no wear the shoe they pay.
Of course.
Am I correct?
Of course.
Okay. The SSG to the state government. I didn't see what he's saying as being political, hypocritical, as people are using to the in his head. Canada, you and I was in this River State when some persons immediately they resigned from their office or they resigned their support from the federal former governor of Rivers State, now the FCC minister. He will fight them with everything he has. We have when one resigned his support, his building was confiscated, brought down, some persons, their police stations and hotel was seized. So you are telling a man who is in that system of tyranny of government, who knew how he was consuming the BP medicine to resign, knowing full well that if he resigns, he will pay consequences or bear some consequences. Leaders people should understand there's one thing that's going on in River State that I've tried to start to plan at on now. Because you see some persons who know the truth, who know what transpired, who know what was in play. Then they will come up now and say, why didn't he say that time? Canada, for me, they have come to stay. That particular thing that happened, thank God he has realized itself. And my happiness is the governor will have now that have human feet. If you watch his response after Danagogo said what he said, I am now your BP curer. Even when I want to correct you, I will correct you with law. You see a leader talking, a leader that have human faith, a leader that understand that we are all human, we are not perfect. Not a man when Wike was governor of River State, who is the commissioner to come up and declare something, to make a sentence, to even grant a press.
I remember Commissioner for Environment at the time.
He was the one who was wearing the shoe, and he know where the shoe was sending him.
All right then.
Thank
you. I've got Ida from Inkoro. Ida, welcome. What is on your mind? All right, the call dropped there. Let's go to Susie from Alakaya. Susie, welcome. What is on your mind? I'd like to hear from you.
Yeah, Canada, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Welcome, Susie.
My problem with the statement of Danagogo is that I feel like throwing up, and at the same time,
no, let's not do Susie. Let's not do that.
Yes. Okay. So
let's not do that. Go straight to your thoughts, please.
Danagogo just announced a particular health condition, which is not good for a person like him, because it's one of the elders that we respect so much as far as this state is concerned. Canada, if not for the way we drive our conversation on this medium and other mediums sometimes, Canada, I personally could decide to converse on issue concerning this conflict in River State without even denting anybody's image or vilifying anybody. Because there are a lot of literary skills and linguistic skills on how to qualify and the adjectives to qualify the situation we find ourselves in River State. Political conflict and crisis and disagreement, hello, can you hear me? It's a normal thing as far as politics is concerned, except we are not passing politics. So if anybody is coming up where you are being conferred a city title, or you're doing a citizen, or you are flagging off a project, and the next thing you do about Wike, people have given testimony here. How Wike have aided Danagogo. I do not know him much, but at least I read about him on newspapers, watch him on television. All that transferred us at that time. That is where I got the preview of information about Danagogo. And while he's still in this government of sin, he's even silent until this yesterday they went to confirm him with citizenship title and all of that. So how come you're now bringing this case to the front burner of how you want to do conversation? You would have said everything you want to say. Of exposing your health condition to the public. It's unfortunate because as far as I'm concerned, like Kirila said, like you cannot have people that are ineptitude in your government. You can have zero tolerance for those that are inept, and that is what it is. So you don't expect people like Wike, like if still is like somebody said, if the conversation is tolerating to anybody, and they're coming back to complain about commissioner who you gave responsibility, the man couldn't deliver. You're coming back to tell the world that you took it away from him and all of that. And you're coming back to tell us you didn't have people. People should be serious.
All right, Susie, thank you. People should be serious in governance, he says. But let's not go to the WhatsApp portal. I've got a series of messages. Wike is saying, I want to speak on the judgment of the Court of Appeal. It's not yet time for speaking on that. When we get to that point, we'll cross that bridge. Well, let's come here. Melody Uniport also talking about the Court of Appeal judgment. Not yet speaking on that. I only introduced the show. It was an introduction. I didn't say I was going to speak on that, but let's move on. This was a very good question. Why didn't he resign? One day, he will also say the same thing about the present governor. I listened to him praise Wike on many occasions, but now he's claiming the work environment was toxic, but he served to the end. Like J.D. Lloyd said, he failed to meet up with the standard of that administration. If you take me to Nigeria and fail to present hard facts, I will develop high BP too. Does it mean the work environment is toxic at the AIM Plaza? No, I'm not to that standard yet. It is what it is. David, that one. Dave. Oh God, Dave. This says, good afternoon, Canada. No matter how APC poaches LP and PDP, that will not stop Peter Obi from being relevant in the political space. Remember, most of these politicians defecting from one party to another use the opera of the obedient to win some of those seats. By 2027, another tsunami may occur, and probably by then, some of them may eventually lose their seats. So I'm not expecting much from Abure's failure to vacate the office. Nothing lasts forever, not ton by ton. Onyeka from Rumudara. This one says, dear presenter, many Nigerians are working in toxic environment and conditions but could not resign for lack of job opportunities, as that is just source of survival. And Tammy Danagogo could not resign under Wike. Joyful with that one. Joyful has got a great explanation. And I said, I did not Nigerian politicians because of both sides of them. Even if the little do criticize the second to the rest of men, still is sweet and administers voting as it did a chibi from GC. I wonder if your what's it called, postulation or calculations are correct. But this one says, I tell you for free, those that defected to APC 2027, they will not get an APC ticket to run 2027 election. Let's go to Elime, where Rex is texting from. This one says, if he had resigned, he would have pitched himself as rebellious against Wike and his administration then. Okay. This one says, good afternoon, Canada. Working experience under former Governor Yeson Wike, toxic and causes high blood pressure by Honorable Tammy Danagogo. Even though I was not in the shoes of Danagogo and others, I totally agree with a statement in a government where commissioners were not allowed to do the work they were appointed to do. It was under the same administration that the Commissioner of Environment went for a program. I remember that one concerning environmental issue, and the governor heard his voice on radio and immediately was sacked for attending the program. What is more toxic when you can't work under your boss freely? For the Supreme Court judgment, I wonder if the petitioner thinks that Nigeria is a foreign country. Lady V. However, Lady V, I don't know if it was because he was on a radio program. I think it was because he had, I think he sanctioned a project that was already authorized by the governor at the time, of course, if I remember well. Talking about environmental assessment and how that company did not follow the due process. But let's come here. This one says, I think the Labour Party going to court to enforce vacation of Labour Party defectees is fruitless an effort, because the ground normally empowers the Speaker of the House of Representatives or the Assembly to do so. The court lacks jurisdiction to declare the seats of the defectees vacant. Emi Fiaga. Of course, the court can tell the Assembly what their roles and responsibilities are. So I don't think it's totally a futility or an action in futility, because if the Speaker is supposed to and he hasn't done it, the court has a right to ask him to do it, because it is his responsibility. So we just have to wait to see how the court will swing the pendulum of the law. But let's see. Rogers Okabie from Orabali says, Governor Simfobara, please think outside road construction and consider fishing trawlers to make fish available to prove his love for Rivers State. Oh my goodness, it's becoming a recurring decimal there. But this was said from all of us here, Kalada, we do not want to know what transpired in the days of resignation spree as to know what Danagogo said is true. Of truth, all the previous commissioners that resigned did not do so on their own, but the pressure from some quarters of the Nyerishi, as they refer him, Imal Taka in Choba. Let's come here. This one says, the reason why Dr. Tammy refused to resign was because he was aiming to become governor. Mind you, they even pleaded with him to be SSG. Wike is not bigger than Danagogo. He's speaking the bitter truth. Hector is given his political calculations there. This one says, no commissioner under me will have high blood pressure. Without being told, we have seen it, because you gave all your commissioners a free hand to discharge their duties and you don't shout at them. Thank God ability at Wike with that one. And this one says, good afternoon, Canada. For the statement credited to Dalong, tells us the kind of personality we have in the corridors of power, and also why integrity is nothing to write him about. The level at which they steal and misappropriate every other financial institution also tells us why Nigerian politicians and the so-called elites are in the same book. Very terrible and selfish set of individuals. Onyeka, with that one, let's come here. It just says the Labour Party leadership should know that their political popularity was because of Peter Obi, hence they should align themselves with his ideology if they want to excel again. Also, Tammy Wenike Danagogo should stop deceiving us, because he ought to have resigned if he had a toxic working relationship with the former governor who had helped him in his political career. Wike Danaka from Elele. I think I'm going to read one more from WhatsApp. This is good afternoon, Kalada. What Tammy Danagogo told everyone at his Thanksgiving service was the truth, because Yeson Wike has always mounted undue pressure on whoever works with him. Even in the current ministry he heads in Abuja, they're all working with him with their hats in their mouths. He made this pressurizing statement to all his ministry workers the day he resumed his duty in Abuja in a press conference. Clinton, Mr. Fresh in Port Harcourt. All right. Thank you very much. But now let's go to the Facebook platform and see what messages I've got there as well. As it's almost time. I've got to go. My time is up. All right, but I hope I can read one message before I wrap things up. Let's read one message from Facebook, and let's see what we have there. Emmanuel Silvanus Oponaviobo says, for every one man who betrayed Wike to be with Fubara, you can find 5 who betrayed Rotimi Amechi to be with Wike. It's such a vicious cycle. Interesting. But I really have got to go this stage. And when I come back, we will talk Court of Appeal and its judgment on Rivers allocation. Do stay tuned.
One more reason to be happy. This week